Hello, good morning. Today we are looking at an advocate called 𝕃𝕚𝕚 Chinyoka, who is based in Zimbabwe, and he commented on the Hopewell matter in response to the tweets from the US Embassy and the EU. It's clear in a divided country like Zimbabwe that no shared understanding exists as to what the issues are. In this case, what is the identity of Hopewell as perceived by the government and as articulated by Chinyoka? He says the facts show that neither Elias Mambo nor 𝕃𝕚𝕚𝕟𝕠𝕞𝕦𝕕𝕒 have been censured for exposing corruption. He argues that this is not a case in which a journalist is being targeted for exposing corruption. He argues that the journalists who are responsible for exposing the Drax matter are now, and they have been working on other corruption matters, including the ZESA matter, the mines, various local authorities. So the case of Hopewell does not qualify as an attack on journalism as a profession. That is his perspective, and there is no shared understanding that must compel any rational, reasonable person to inquire into what is it that is at play. Is it politics? Is it the rule of law? Is it a case of constitutionalism using different lenses? What is it? Welcome to this virtual coffee session, where I've been by default forced to host it because the host is not available. So I thought we should dig deeper into this issue of journalism as a profession. How do we respond to this? And obviously, we'll ask you, today is another day where we actually pause to remember Patson Zamara, who is no more. And perhaps we can start there and just look at the role of an activist. How do we report it? How do we report Hopewell? Who is safe? This 2020 is a difficult year for everybody. And good morning, Godfrey.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. And how are you, sir?
Not too bad. Are you interested in the topic? And before it, maybe condolences to Patson Zamara, who is no more.
Yeah, we are sad. I saw the minute. I saw it from being published by Nigel Chanakira that Patson Zamara has died, and the Zimbabwean civil society had tried to raise some funds for his operation the last few weeks. Our condolences to the Zamara family.
Thank you very much. And the topic, you are in the Towards Media Excellence group. Or which group are you in? The WhatsApp group?
Yes, I am. I am in the media excellence. I'm there. I'm interested in that thematic area of social communication.
Okay. What do you think is the problem with WhatsApp groups? That conversations often go off track. There is no structured and orderly way to look at issues.
Yeah, maybe it's because they are WhatsApp groups. They are social media. Social media is social interaction, maybe between A and B, between Chipo and Benny, between Benny and Lucia. These people are not necessarily media practitioners, but they have got some common interests. They may discuss the weather, they may discuss football, then they go into their daily lives, the challenges which they have. These people do not have, or of necessity, these people do not have some professional or technical competence in the areas. They are expressing their own relationships and their own interests or inclinations or opinions or perspectives.
But you are talking about others, but not you. If you are in a group, do you think it's important to shape the discourse as an individual participant? Have you not heard many people say, what is the purpose of the group? Have you ever heard that question?
Yes, I have heard it several times.
What informs that question? Imagine you go into a country X, and you go to school, you finish, and then you look for work. Then you ask, what is the purpose of this country? What is the purpose of this highway? And you are using the highway, and you are asking, what is the purpose of the highway?
Yeah, it could be viewed in several dimensions.
Okay.
Maybe the purpose is there, but the person did not see the purpose of the highway in the beginning.
Let's say, Godfrey, you are the person I'm talking to.
Yes, exactly.
You are saying,
I'm coming exactly to my experience some other time.
Yeah.
I went.
We wanted to force you to remove the representation side so that we can try to find, and we say we are two of us now in the same group. And how do we move forward so that we can project and solve the problem?
Yeah, I was just starting to say, I was driving the other day in South Africa, in a city that I had not gone there, I had not visited some time. Then I went into a one way. I was now against traffic. I had thought the road was two-way. I had not seen the sign in the beginning. I expected it to be two-way because it was wide. And then everybody was flashing their lights at me, and the police stopped and scolded me and said, no, go back there. What are you doing there? What am I saying in that one? I'm saying sometimes people might not understand or perceive. We might not perceive, or I might not have perceived the objective of the group in the beginning. I joined thinking that it's just an open group where people can discuss anything. And then on the way, when my discussions or when my contributions are not in line with the group, that's when I might discover that, no, this is not the group which I thought it was. Or,
you know, we have another discussion, Godfrey, which is a country.
Yes.
Does a country exist? Does a group exist?
A country in terms of its borders.
What is a country? What is a country
geographical space?
What is a group to you? What is the WhatsApp group? Assume the WhatsApp group is a country.
It is different people who have come together. They have got some standing rules or some orientations on what they want to achieve, or they establish also their code of conduct within the group.
Do you agree that I must end a life to be alive?
I must
end a life to be alive.
Oh yes, a person who is not biologically alive cannot be alive.
Yeah, so I can't have a country if I don't become part of it.
It's
So the
true.
country is me. So the country itself has no plan, no appetite, no memory, nothing.
All right. The country now is made up of different individuals, like Mawere, like Godfrey, like who else, like
That's
who
what
else.
a WhatsApp group is. We are diverse, we are many.
Yes, that's true.
Then
We
yet
form a group
some
now.
people are in the country or driving on the highway. Then ask, what is the purpose of a highway? Or I'm working for the highway, but the highway is just taking you where you want to go. If you have nowhere to go, the highway doesn't exist.
Yeah, it might exist physically. The highway is there. The orientations are there, which have been, we believe the orientations are there because
If you are not using it, if you are not using it, if you are a snake, you just cross on the highway.
Yeah, it's true. But what I'm saying is,
Zimbabwe.
what I'm saying is the orientations are there. The people who formed the group have got an objective. Maybe someone was oblivious as to the formation of the group, whether it is supposed to be functional.
Does life have an objective? Does the country have an objective? Because I may have set it up today and die tomorrow. But the fact that I've set it up, it requires the wills of the people who believe in their own journey, like a highway. I could take the slow lane, the fast lane, but it is me who wants to go to point B, not the highway.
That's true. But you find usually the countries or the whatever entity, they inherit the identity of the founder, the first leader. When you go to Kenya, it's Kenyatta. When you go to Ghana, it's Nkrumah.
No, but I'm saying we are trying to change perspectives by interrogating those ideas. Kenyatta is dead, Rhodes is dead. Imagine in 2020, I end up struggling with Rhodes' statue, and he's dead.
Yeah, that's true. But you find there are people who are so
not people now. We're talking about Godfrey. Do you believe that a country exists after discussing with you?
Yes, it does.
All right. So then we need to have a conversation on what is a country, what is the individual, what is a group. Let's take the WhatsApp group as the country.
That's true. That's true.
And say, okay, I've just set up the group. I'm admin. I put the name of the group. That's my thinking. But once you get there into the group, you are an equal member of the group. So what you decide to share, like now what you're deciding to share, you are showing up, you are there, and people will remember this conversation.
But Comrade Mawere, look at this one. You right now, there are power dynamics which are very clear. The one who is setting the tone is not Godfrey. The one who is setting the tone is the person who is launching the questions. He's directing the conversation.
So but it doesn't mean you lose your individuality by
I get it very well, but we have in this social scenario that we have, anyone who is listening here, nobody is at a question as to who is the leader of the country, who is setting the constitution of the country, who is in charge of the security apparatus of the country. The power dynamics are very clear. So in the same respect, when we come to a WhatsApp group, the fact that individual A thinks of inviting people, thinks of giving the group a name, thinks of giving some people limited power to be co-administrators. And when the discussion is going on, they also remind people of the code of conduct, which might have been communicated or which might not have been communicated in the beginning. And they also have the power to exclude some people who might continuously disobey the code of conduct. It gives that person the executive presidency of the country called the WhatsApp group. And the other people are ministers or they are just citizens.
So that's what you believe.
That's what is functionally, that's the functionality of a group.
I'm saying is that that's your perspective.
Yes, exactly. That's my perspective of the functionality of a group. Because if there is no driver, then we might have anarchy. We might not move anyone, because anyone you
expect someone to pull you up and make you walk, drink water when you have to.
Not necessarily make me drink water, but somebody to show me where the safe water is. That the safe water, that one there, that fountain is safe. That one is for bathing.
Where let's say we are in a desert, there's an oasis with water, and I've not been there. How can I lead you where I've not been?
So you have, comrade, you have changed the scenario. In the group, for somebody to form the group, the scenario is that the person already has got some knowledge about where they want us to go. Or they might have some theoretical.
There must be the founder, the president, is an extra obligation to define and shape the character of the group.
Yeah, or they might have an orientation to orient others towards the objective of the group. Yes.
But do you agree that no one can orient you on what is yet to happen and has not happened?
The expected outcomes. Yeah, correct. Yes.
No one can do that.
Nobody can do that.
You have to live life as if you are a stranger to it.
Yeah, that may be, but sometimes if you come, then you might find that the objectives will now clash with the original objectives. Then people might remind you that this group, we don't go that way, we go this way. That's why you might find, I think you have seen some people being excluded from groups.
No, I'm saying is we are trying to understand so that we can then move forward to the subject of the day.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Discuss this issue of journalists and what is involved. So right. We have Mr. Laxon. I think he has joined us, and
right.
Mr. Laxon, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mawera. How are you?
How are you? Have you been
good.
following the conversation?
No, I just came in now and I joined just now.
We are gossiping about you.
It's good to be gossiped.
All right. And we're talking about the country, about the WhatsApp country. And I think Godfrey's point that he makes is that the founder of a group has to shape and define his character and be a little dictator in a WhatsApp group, remove those who don't conform, celebrate those who conform, so that at the end of the day, the group must reflect the character of the founder.
Then that might be wrong, according to me, because isn't it a leader? It mustn't be an individual thing to lead. You lead carrying the mandate of people, isn't it?
No, you are already getting into a minefield yourself, because the moment you introduce leadership, then you have to agree with Godfrey that somebody has to lead. But there is a view that leadership does not exist in the affairs of mankind, that each individual, like you, decided to join this conversation.
Yes.
Godfrey decided to join the conversation.
Yes.
But nobody called him to say, Godfrey, come and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes, sir.
So we are having a conversation as equals because we don't know the script. If I had sent to you the script, then you only be entitled to answer the questions that you have already been privileged to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So right now, Godfrey has given a view which we need to interrogate before we get into the subject matter of the day. His
Yes, sir.
view
Mhm.
is that a group exists, a president exists to be able to guide and shape the affairs of human beings. There's another view which says no human being has got that power to cause others to do that which is not in their self-interest.
I would disagree with that line of analyzing, because I believe there should be a leader, but a leader cannot lead without people's input. That's when you would see, even in the old days where of the chiefs, they would have advisors, but those advisors will not advise carrying their own understanding. They will consult the general populace, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yes.
So
So
that's your view. And Godfrey, what is your take? Hello, Godfrey is on mute.
okay.
Let's see whether he comes into the conversation.
The network is very bad.
All right. So we should. You have anything to say? What if you can say it? Then maybe we can move to the next question.
I can hardly hear
All
you.
right. So the topic of today is dealing with the advocate Tino Chinyoka's comment on Hopewell that this has nothing to do with the journalism. That people may forget that it was Elias Mambo and the Zim Morning Post who broke the story about the PPE scandal. And the people who broke the story have not been censored since the Drax scandal. So they've moved on to do other stories. And in fact, they are exposing other corruption scandals in relation to ZESA, the mines, and various local authorities. So this is stated as a fact. So Hopewell is not being targeted as a journalist. He is being targeted for committing an offense in terms of the laws of the country. So you have one view. That view is coming from Advocate Tino. So what is your take on that? What is your take on that issue? And Godfrey will share on WhatsApp or even on the screen. If you can see the screen, you can also share. And what is your take, Mr. Chwai?
It will be naive, Mr. Mawere, to really authenticate the information nowadays, because, like you are saying, there is that version of the advocate. Then there is a version which is all over on the social media that it's because of him exposing the corruption. But now we don't know the truth. According to me, I would say I don't know the truth. why he is still in police custody. There should be something.
What he's saying is that the crime of inciting violence, it's a big crime, and therefore the government is entitled to ask the court to deny the person freedom. And the fact that the person is being supported by external people, external countries, it supports that contention that if he was to be given bail, these people may give him legs to leave the country and therefore not attend the court.
That can be a true version, because I think I came across one script where it was said he is serving the interests of the Americans. And this issue of corruption is a disguise. That's what I came across. So in as much as they are refusing, probably they have evidence to that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying is this is the conversation about what is happening, different lenses looking at the same issue,
yes,
and coming up with a different conclusion that according to Tino, this case does not qualify as a case confirming that the government is targeting journalists. But on the contrary, it confirms that a crime was committed according to him, and therefore the person must be kept on remand. And it's not Zimbabwe only that takes that view. You'll find that many other people in other countries also take the same view, that you are a threat to public security or public safety, and as such, denying you bail is in the public interest.
I can buy that. Because I can buy that. I think the magistrates are educated people in their profession to see through what we cannot see the possible danger that he may cause to the public.
No, I'm saying is in a divided country, a country that went through a coup, is there a shared understanding of what needs to happen when something happens? If there was no coup, Mugabe would have died in office.
Yes.
There was no one arrested for inciting a coup.
Yes.
And the Constitution of Zimbabwe permits citizens from to protest. And then even if he was not a journalist, the question is that right entrenched in the Constitution available to a person like Hopewell? If it is, then how should he be treated by state organs?
It's a bit complex, Mr. Mawere, because like I'm saying, we actually don't have facts except to rely on what the media would say. If we had facts, probably as the police might have, we should be in a different position. So, going back to your question that do we have a shared understanding? I would say no, because what they know is what we don't know. And what we are exposed to consume might be a different thing. What we know now might not be the real thing on the ground. So one, we don't have a shared understanding. Two, I don't believe that they are persecuting Hopewell simply because he is inclined to the opposition. I don't think so. There should be something else.
No, I'm saying is that we are having a discussion and
Yes,
we are
sir.
trying to provoke other people to think and debate and find a common understanding as to what a citizen should do and what a journalist should do. So a journalist is also a citizen, a human being,
Yes,
or a
sir.
resident of Zimbabwe, who is affected by whatever problem we see, whether it's corruption or otherwise.
Yes,
So
sir.
to what extent can a citizen step forward and be counted in the fight against corruption that he may have investigated as a journalist? So what is it that we learn, and are we having those conversations in the groups that we establish to be able to look at both sides of the coin? In this case, there's one argument that says Hopewell is a villain. There's another argument that says Hopewell is a savior. And we're just using Hopewell's case as a case study.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to look at the merits of it, because we are not sitting here as judges.
Yes,
But
sir.
to improve literacy on the rights and duties of being a citizen. There are some people who are citizens of WhatsApp groups that say nothing, do nothing, and yet expect the group itself to have legs that they don't give it to. So imagine I'm stationary, lock myself in a closet. That means that's my country, the closet.
Yeah.
It means I won't know anything beyond what I have chosen.
Yeah.
Even if I was free to roam around, I only see where my body can allow my eyes to see.
Yeah.
Apart from that, I am just too small to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm a leader or I'm a follower, I set up a WhatsApp group or I didn't set it up, I can't go and invade people's minds so that I then end up representing them. So the idea of C2C is actually to bring people together, so that not to bring them, to provoke them to be part of a conversation that they can carry forward based on the respect of those who disagree with you or those who may disagree with you. There are many people who can look at the same glass as half empty, and some look at the same glass as half full. But they're all describing something they can see themselves. But it depends on who is looking.
Yes.
So where we are is we have a particular disease. If you start talking about Hopewell in one way or the other, you can then get attacked that you are trying to be an apologist. But if in presenting two sides of the coin, you end up with one coin.
Yes.
That doesn't mean the head must be the tail.
Yes.
Yeah. But how many people are unwilling to let ideas fight ideas?
Many people, they don't want to interrogate things. They don't want also to share or to listen to other people. many, the way I see it, it's, I was sitting one day and I thought it could be because of too much pressure in their lives, so they end up doing things emotionally and not, they are not soberly. Yeah, I'm going to give you a slight thing that I saw what was happening at the court. Is it 2 days or a day ago, when they brought in Job Scholar to the court? This, my observation, I saw some youth who were very vibrant in singing for job, requesting job. But then when you go to the state side, you would see that it becomes nonsense that a person comes to sing in a court or in front of a court. That becomes a nonsense. People are not buying ideas because they, out of anger, out of anger, they do things. Out of emotions, they do things. Now, when you are alone, do we think or revisit things that we have done to say, was this right? I don't know whether you are getting what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
Mr. Mawere.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Those guys, when they ended up being beaten, and as they were beaten, the guy, it looks like now the beer was gone or the intoxication was gone. He became normal to say, no, I don't know why they are beating me. In the first place, the guy was shouting, I don't go without Job Scholar. As who? The question will arise. You want to go with Job Scholar as who? Who are you? Do you have a structure that is saying, we as the youth of ZANU-PF or of MDC, we are requesting Job Scholar in a structured manner, right? Now, whoever will be on the opposite side will say, no, this is public nonsense. We don't need to entertain these people.
Okay. So when you look at a general conversations that are taking place,
yes,
whether it's in social media, do you see a balance, a structured way of presenting arguments, resolving them, or you see the arguments default into the persons?
Yeah, I think the arguments are defaulting. They are not at the moment. And I appreciate the C2C because you see, we are bringing everyone from different walks of life, from different political backgrounds to share a common understanding. And I believe if this can be taken far, it can bring peace not only to the country, but to the world.
But when you say bring peace to the country, what are you saying? Because that is one area we never interrogate. What is the country?
The country is us. The country is a human being. The country is me.
So if the country is you,
yeah,
why should we bring something to you?
Right. Because of anger. Right now, many people are filled with anger. They are very emotional looking at what life is throwing at them. People become emotional. One day, let me give you something. What I learned when I was at school, high school, I joined a small karate club. And the instructor who was there, I didn't train as a karateka, but I went there and got trained. But what I got, it's a lesson that I still have in me today, that when you are fighting or when you are being attacked, never get emotional. Because when you become emotional, you are easily knocked off. And now when you look at the general populace of Zim or of the world, people are very emotional. And by being emotional, you lose your balance. You lose in thinking and in stature.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you are saying people, not you.
Yeah, I would say yes,
And not
sir.
you. Do you find that is the problem, that we try, me, yourself, and many others,
Yes.
to talk about what we think is the reality for others, just because we feel that reality. But when we are talking about a country, the country is just too big for it to fit into one person's mind.
Yeah.
So then it calls for shared experiences,
Yes.
shared insights, shared ideas about what to do, confronted with a problem. And if you know the facts, and we are trying to talk about journalism, how best do we talk about this journalism in a structured manner where arguments are presented? Here we have Tino Chinyoka, who is presenting his own side, that there are no facts that exist, that the glass is half empty. But meanwhile, he doesn't accept somebody to say the glass is half full. That for the same facts or events around Hopewell, there are people who believe that he is a journalist par excellence. And behind this punishment is not about inciting violence per se, but it's about the things that he has written that have damaged the confidence in the government and in the actors in government. That people who used to think that government actors ought to be trusted, there's a new second dispensation, now are having second thoughts about their trust, whether it's misplaced or not. Do you agree that there is that view that is also founded on fact?
Mr. Mawere, okay, it's not only Hopewell who was arrested, isn't it? I understand Tsitsi Dangarembga was arrested as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is she in court today?
No, that's because they didn't go further deeper into this link between government actors and corruption. When Hopewell discovered that actually the people who are doing some of these things are close to people in government, he then was compelled to take this matter forward in the absence of any other voice that is linking the two, that these things are happening because of some powerful people in government.
Okay, we have Shingi Munyeza. He has been saying the same things as Hopewell said, but I haven't seen Munyeza in court over what you would have said. There are many
that's where the selective treatment is. That's what people are saying. Why are you being selective? That's one of the views. Why should there be a selective application of the law? Because even after you expose, what do you hope to happen if it doesn't happen? Let's say you look at Parliament, expect parliamentarians to take up the matter of Drax and judge. They don't. You expect political actors in government and outside government to take this matter, and nothing happens. Then Tin Chris says, Hope was in trouble due to the depth of expose. He has detail and source. ED wants that source. That's Tin Chris. I hope you are just speculating or you're spoken to ED and ED says he wants that source. I can't speak to that, but let's just deal with the facts known to us so that we can say, is it because of the expose and the depth, or there is something deeper than this?
I will take this one, which says there should be something deeper than exposing. Because as I'm saying, looking at the people we have been exposing, men are free on the street. We have you listened to Blessing Mhlanga's shows?
Yeah.
Sometimes he talks to them and he exposes them, and he actually interrogates in their eyes. Now, why is it he is free? Well, when you are saying the application of justice is selective, that one personally I cannot speak to it because we don't know. Because at the end of the day, if then we will discover that it's a different story, are we going to come back to the people and say, no, we are sorry, we were in support of Hopewell, believing that what he was saying was the cause of his arrest?
Okay. So what are you saying that we can take to other people, the people who listen to this video, and say, okay, is it important for us to openly interrogate some of these versions, some of these ideas, because what you may think is correct need not be correct to others. But once you express what you think, it becomes easier for others to pause and think about their own ideas, their own perspectives.
What I will say, Mr. 𝕂𝕚𝕟𝕠𝕜, I would say let fate take its course. A fate can bring good luck, fate can bring bad luck, but give it time to take its course than to have sides now when we don't know. The other guy is saying there should be something deeper than this. So if something deeper is there and you have been supporting or you were behind this guy, not knowing the depth of the issue, are we brave enough to come back and say, sorry, it's not right, the way that I was taking was wrong?
Mm-hmm. So
if fate can take its course, it will reveal the truth. And biblically, it says the truth will set everyone free. If what is being said on the media is true, definitely Hopewell will be free. If what is said on the media is not true, then definitely he is not going to be free. My take, but let fate take its course.
All right. So you are saying fate must take its course, and for us in these groups, what should we do, and what should inform our conversations? Do you think these matters ought to be discussed in the public domain and deal with the issues and deal with different perspectives without fear or favor, so that people who are divided and people who are diverse may find reason to negotiate the kind of future they want, the kind of profession they want to see?
I believe we should be discussing these things. But as long as we don't have evidence to some of the issues, we mustn't take sides before having authentic information pertaining to a subject. Because now that then will arouse emotions in other people. There's a person who is listening now who might be a friend to Hopewell, listening to me, you will think I am anti-Hopewell. And there is no reason for me to hate Hopewell, who I haven't met, whom I don't know, and who may not cause anything into my life. There is no reason. The same thing, you may not have reason to hate me because probably you don't know me. There is no cause.
All right, and as we wind down the show, we are getting to 10 o'clock. When you look at the conversation on your side of today, what are your take-home points that you can say, I was part of it, and these are the key things that I need to share with others?
Yeah. Okay. My take-home points will be: let's move away. When you hear things or when you love something, never do.
Hello, it looks like there's a problem there. There's a network issue. Mr. Chiwai has been frozen. So if you are watching out there, what is your comment on today's conversation? If you are watching and you can hear me, you can type. You can present your own perspective so that we can finish this show. So I await your comments. It's now open to the floor. Is there anyone with a point to make, a point to correct, a point to amplify? It's your turn. So it looks like there is no life outside the people that are in this conversation. So I can conclude only to say it is important that in any conversation involving ideas, points that need to be made, you and I must always jealously guard against compounding our views to make them seem as if they are shared views. Shared views are a consequence of negotiation. You may have your point, somebody may have their point. But when you try to negotiate, you find that the end point need not be the point that was held by one party to a dispute or an argument and another by another party. It always evolves to a negotiated view. So if it's a negotiated view, it's incumbent upon all of us to try to provoke open, frank, and honest conversations so that we may know from those who may seem to be opposed to us why they are opposed and why they need to be heard like everybody else without favor or prejudice. So that is my message. Let's keep on talking. Let's keep on fighting for what is required. And let's deal with that as we move step by step. Thank you.